faith. If we really want a country that works, not see the handwriting on the wall here, right? There are a lot of other groups, which you know, I believe you know them, who have done great works to bring out the persecution of their people. This bishop, nobody in Nigeria, in my own opinion, the Bishop of Makurdi, right? Nobody, in my own opinion, have done more work to bring out the killing of Christians in the Middle Belt or in Nigeria, you know, as a whole, than this individual, because he has visited almost everywhere. I mean, perhaps it's only remaining Greenland, or maybe the Greenland he has not visited, right? This man has been to the House of Lords as far as, you know, 2020. This man has visited every part of Europe. And now you want me, please, sir, correct me, sir, to believe that the lobbyist from Intersociety did a great job more than Bishop of Makurdi. You see, this is quite a very tough one, because at least I know not 1%. I know 0.25% of what some of this bishop has done, right? And I knew, I'm aware of the individuals, especially in Capitol Hill, who are backing him, how he got to where he is, how this whole CPC thing came to be. At least I know a little bit. And to be honest with you, sir, Intersociety did not play as major role as, you know, ADF Legal, right? As Houston Institute. These are the people who were backing the bishop. Some of these things I'm not supposed to make public, but some of them, since we're having this conversation. And I want to make reference to something to you. I want you to go back to, there was a letter, right? There was a report that was done on the 18th of October. It was sent to Donald Trump on the 18th of October. I want you to look for that document. If not, I will look for it. I'll find a way to send it to you. I want you to look at these organizations who signed it, and let me know if you can see Intersociety there. You know, let me know, because we've got to be very careful with these things. We have to be very, very, very careful. The article that you made reference to, even the blind man or the blind woman can see the truth in these things, right? A certain group, like you mentioned, we are happy. Not only that group alone, most Nigerians, especially those from the Middle Belt, who felt that their prayer has been answered. Why are we taking this thing away from the people who are the victims? Why are we taking this thing away from them? The people who have complained more than any other person in Nigeria are the Middle Belters, are those from the North Central. They are the ones who has been screaming and saying, we've been killed, right? And then we want to believe that is somebody, you know, selling screwdriver with Intersociety who did more job than these people. No, please, let's not do this. Let's not do this. You cannot take away what the bishop has done. And if you go back and do a research on the silent slaughter, I want you to go and look for these things. I will try my possible best to send you some of these things if I'm able to. It's very, very important. Let's not do this thing to ourselves. The Middle Beltons are the ones who have been screaming. You can see some of them on the timeline actually arguing that they are not Northerners. They want to be called Middle Belters. These people are the ones that saying this. Why do we want to push the narrative to a different angle? You know, but as always, I welcome everybody's opinion, and the people are welcome to their view. Please, if you disagree with him, as always, we're not here to do name callings. Tell him the reason you disagree with him, and he will respond and tell you the reason, you know, he's sticking to what he believes in, right? I can see Ife, you have the mic. You're the only one raising your hand.
Yes, mine said, thank you very much for another opportunity to also speak. I want to categorically say that I disagree with Omar very well. You see, when you begin to shift the blame from the real victim to, or be it an NGO or whatever you think you want to shift the blame to, just because you do not like the NGO or people who are in charge of the NGO, then you are the one being disingenuous in this aspect. If you go to the page of Amnesty International, just go to their timeline. Over 150 persons are reported to be missing. People who were picked from their homes because they were picked, linked, tell them their IPOB and all that. If our memory will serve us right, there's one woman, Mrs. Ifedi, that was taken by the DSS, and she died in detention. Her husband was taken somewhere else. She was taken somewhere else, and she died. So these are injustices that are meted on the Igbos, or in the name of IPOB and all that, and then this front was used to, deal treacherously with the Igbos. So if the Igbos feel that the only genuine way they can have their voice heard to stop or halt the persecution is through, lobbying, putting it out there about this Christian genocide. Of course, all the people that were being killed, are they not Christians? The people you call IPOB and whatever, are they not Christians? They are Christians. So let us not begin to, drag people who are not, the real victims are these people who are the Middle Beltans. Go to Southern Kaduna, go to Agatu, go to Yellowater. Hundreds, thousands of people have been killed. Look at the latest one now in Southern Kaduna. More than 150 persons kidnapped, taken. They are all Christians. So I feel that your growth or the pain in you is because of it is being pushed by IPOB or Igbo people, Igbo or whatever. That is. In fact, I see most of your anger that way. You are not even interested in, is this thing really committed? Is it committed? Yes, is the answer. It is being committed. Leave about people that are pushing it, whether it is whatever group that pushes it. Are they right? Yes, they are right. They are right. So let us not begin to major on the minor and minor on the major. No. See, Nigerian government should do everything possible to stop the persecution of the Igbos, stop the persecution of Christians, ensure that justice is done. Because if you carry out selective justice, Nigeria will never progress. And Nigeria as a country has been carrying out selective justice. When issues that have to do with the Igbo man, justice is not done. But every other tribe, justice is done. Why is it so? So leave your thoughts about the IPOB or whatever. Leave that side. There is Christian genocide, and the government should do everything possible to ensure that it does not happen. That's my 2 cents. Thank you. I said.
All right, thank you very much. Now, my position has not changed, and a lot of people might feel uncomfortable about it. It doesn't matter whether you're Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, what have you, right? If anybody has been seen committing any crime, let's not condone the person because they are from our tribe. That is a no-no for me, right? If anybody's going to start something just to take somebody's life, and then we are going to say, no, we're not going to contribute, we're not going to speak about it because they are, from the part of the country that we belong to. That's a no-no. Any terrorist for me is a terrorist. But the bone of contention here is we cannot, in good faith, take this thing away from the people who has gone out there, who would have done the job, who has spent their hard-earned money to say, we are being killed. It is not right for us to not see the truth in what New York Times is trying to do here. The persons and the individuals who have, who have suffered more are those from the Middle Belt. And they are the ones who have continuously not given up. On Wednesday, the 14th of January, these guys were there in Capitol Hill. They were there in Washington. The guy from Benue State, he was talking about what happened in Yawata. And somebody wants me to believe, let's be realistic. Let's be serious for this is human's life we're talking about here, right? But Omar, before I pass the mic back to you, let me hear from Mr. Baiki, then I'll come back to you, please. if that's okay with you. He's been struggling to come up. Bike, you have the mic. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Mindset. Good morning to all. I just joined not too long ago. What is the bone of contention, or what is the issue on ground now?
Okay. So let me try to recap again. Now, we're talking about the New York Times article and the way they tried to move the whole narrative that it was somebody from Onitsha, an Igbo man from Onitsha, who gave America the intel to go to Sokoto State. Now, myself, and I believe some other persons on this platform, my argument is it doesn't make sense. You cannot take away what the Nigerian government have said, that they are the ones that gave the intel, right? And so Mr. Omar have a different, it came with a different approach to it and everything. So myself, I do not agree with his response. Hence, we are here. So I think the best thing would be you stay with us for a little while, listen to others. Maybe you can catch up with what's going on, if that's okay with you.
I think I get the picture now. Well, you see, the bottom line is this: I'm a northerner from Kano and a Christian, and I participated fully in. The silent slaughter was done by my organization. I'm the director in International Organization for Peace Building and Social Justice. That document was put together by us and in collaboration with ICON, International Committee on Nigeria. It's a US-based organization. There is nobody that can overturn what we've said. It is a fact. The names are there. The dates of all the atrocities are there. I think one of the things majorly Northerners are not comfortable about is, and don't know about is, Nigeria, the world is beyond the North. Nigeria is larger than the North. And our ideology is putting us in a very bad situation. I'll give you a clear example of one of the situations we encountered in the US. That is the killing of Shiites. Over 3,000 Nigerians who are Shiites of a minority sectarian group of Islam were massacred, and nobody, no northern Muslim raised his finger against such an act carried out by government. So if it is happening to the people by the same people of the same religion and same faith, simply because of difference in ideology, what could be happening to others who are of the same, not of the same faith, who are Christians and equally minorities in their areas? So they are equally being massacred. So the world fixed their eyes on Nigeria and saw that, yes, it's a fact that these things that have been presented not only by ICON and PSD, but by Stephanus Foundation, Jubilee Campaign, International Christian Concern, Heritage Foundation, just name it, that these things are facts. People are dying. So that is where we found ourselves as Northerners, and then we now made a mistake of supporting going for a Muslim ticket. That Muslim ticket further opened up a can of worms for us. Why did we want them? Why did the North settle for a Muslim ticket? If indeed the issue of equality matters, then of course there was an agenda. The North did Muslim ticket with an agenda, whereas the South came in with a Muslim ticket without an agenda of emasculating minorities. So it's the same government of a Muslim ticket that has given voice to this matter. It is not anybody. If you find out that the government is not even picking anybody, it's not quarreling with anybody in Nigeria that you have reported us. No. Well, it is what we wanted has come, and then we're still complaining and then pushing the blame to other people. What has a screwdriver seller got to do with Intel? Where? I mean, we should be very, 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 I mean, let's be realistic. Let's be realistic. These things are not there. It's not rocket science that people have Intel on us over and above what we think. There are links I can give you to show you where aircrafts have been surveying and raking Nigeria. Was it screwdrivers that were doing the sorties to go and check and see things as they are on the ground at over 500, over 50,000 feet. These screwdrivers, and then this is the screwdriver seller that sent those aircrafts to go and see what is happening before certain decisions are taken. Let's not behave like imbeciles and be stupid. I'm sorry to use that word anyway. Let's not behave like ignorant people. The world has gone beyond where we are. Thank you very much, Mindset.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Baiki. I'll come back to you, Omar, please. Bear with me. The reason I wanted you to speak, Mr. Baiki, is because your position matters here. You're a Northerner. You're from Kano State. You're a Christian. And another thing here is, if there's anybody I can tell on, maybe there are some other individuals who perhaps they don't want to speak, but they're here listening. That is part of this, that played their major role in bringing this thing to Washington and Capitol Hill. I think you're one person I can tell, right? Based on those on the speaker section, because you're part of some of these organizations and think tank groups. Now, when people come out to fly this kite about Intersociety and everything, and it try to wash away what people like yourself, right, and Bishop of Makurdi and the rest of them persons have done, it just doesn't sit well because the documents are there, right? I mean, the Wednesday one, you saw it, right? You listened to it, right? The one in Washington, Mr. Baiki. Hello, is he still there? Sorry, Ola, help me out. Am I still audible, or have they kicked me out?
Yes, you are audible, Mindset. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. So Mr. Baiki is not responding, so I would leave for when he's ready to respond, because I believe he will.
I followed. Sorry, Mindset. I did follow the Washington, New York thing. It's bullshit. I did.
No, not the New York. I said you followed the hearing on Wednesday on the 14th, the briefing. You listen to that briefing, right?
Yes,
you listen to the guy from Benue State. You listen to the congressman, and you listen to the senators, right? Now, when somebody who has followed this thing up and and continue to follow it up like yourself, hear people talk about, Intersociety is where this guy get their intel, it just doesn't sit well. It's just can't take this thing away from those who have done their job and continue to do their job. Omar, you have the mic, sir. Before I pass the mic to someone, Omar, you have the mic. Good morning once again. Sorry, have we lost him? Hello?
I think he's gone now. I can't see him here. All
right. Hopefully he would rejoin. Please, we would like to hear your thoughts on this. If you would like to respond to myself or any other person. Ola, you have the mic before I go back to Ako. Ola, please go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning, Mindset. Good morning, everybody. It's a shame that Omar is off, because I wanted to respond to what he said. Is this space being recorded?
No, it's not recorded. So
now, because he went on, I don't want to call it a rant or a tirade, I just wanted to confront him with some irrefutable facts. Boko's local government area, multiple villages in this area were attacked in April 2025, including Hoti, Joshi, and Dafo, where at least 40 to 52 Christians were killed. In another attack in April 2025 in Bokos, resulted in 12 mourners being killed in the Rui village. Basi local government, April 2025, 56 Christians were killed in the Zike community, Kimapa/Kwali districts. Another 103 houses were razed. The Dundu community also reported 3 Christians killed in March 2025. Back in Ladi local government area, October 2025, coordinated attacks by suspected Fulani militias in Rawura and Tatu villages resulted in over 13 deaths. Riom local government area, the village of Kui was attacked in November 2025. 32 Christians were killed in Jebu. Another 27 people were killed in July 2025, massacre in the area. Just south and north local government, the capital city, has a long history of violence and recent attacks reported in areas like Chigwe. Now, also, I wanted to ask him about the Muslim cleric who had to flee because he provided shelter for quite a number of Christians that were about to be killed. Now, mindset, I know that we try and be logical and decent on the spaces like this, but when people like Omar come and start having a case of verbal diarrhea like that, and then calling that, oh, people are, it's whataboutism and stuff like that, I'm sorry. It's patronizing, it's annoying. It's a shame that he's left this space, and hopefully he's come back and is listening. Yes, nobody is disputing that, yes, everybody is being killed, Christians, non-Christians, Muslims, traditionalists in the north. But there is a targeted thing where villages that are predominantly Christian are being targeted. Anybody that says anything else is being wicked. And then now to link it to Simon Ekpa, I can see what he's doing. It's the same thing they did with that article that they now went and said, one of the photojournalists involved, and they've started doxing her account. At times, it's so frustrating being a Nigerian, because you see people who are meant to be educated, who are meant to have, verbal reasoning, talk like idiots. Gosh, I'm so upset this morning.
I know. Okay, Ola, just let's try and hold it there. Now, you see, the thing here is, I know it's a difficult one. Now, it's a difficult thing for me to hold spaces like this, because sometimes people might not be comfortable because of people's view. But the good thing about it is that if we do not give people the opportunity to speak, we wouldn't get to ask questions and know where they're leaning, right? But I can understand that some persons will be upset with his views and everything, but it's very important we hear him out, and then we can then, say we are not happy with this, or you're not happy with this, then you can come out like you have done right now. You read that a lot of individuals, sadly, who have lost their lives. Okay, so I think he's back here. Let's allow him to respond. Aku, please do bear with me. I will pass the mic to you. Let's allow Omar to respond to the things that have been said. I hope that's okay. Omar, you have the mic, sir.
Thank you very much, Mindset. Just to be honest, I understand the difficult position you're in, Mindset, because as you said, as you understand, I've also hosted spaces myself in the past, and I get that opinions can really rile people up. And unfortunately, when sensitive subjects like this are involved, our people tend to listen to respond rather than listen to understand. In my submission, I made it clear that there are actual victims. The people of the Middle Belt, the Christians in the North, they've been victims of this unreasonable violence for many years. That's not in denial. No one is denying that here. But you see, when people with an ulterior motive, with seriously politicized agendas, start to center themselves in the conversation, they tend to distort the narrative. And that's exactly where the problem is. That's where that New York Times article is coming from. As you said, there are people in the Middle Belt who have been to the White House, who have been to the Capitol Hill, who are doing the real lobbying work on behalf of the genuine victims. They're there. But there are also people who have ulterior motives, whose agenda is strictly secessionist and ethnic in nature, who are continuing to center themselves in this conversation. And those are the people that have created a scenario like that of that article we've seen in the New York Times. Two truths can coexist. You see, something very interesting happened during NSAS on the night of the killings at the Lekki toll gate. Most propaganda accounts, government propaganda accounts, started saturating fake pictures of some kind of drama incident from a university in Nigeria. I don't know, maybe from Calabar or something. And they were pushing it as the pictures from Lekki toll gate, even before the real images started coming in. Now, by the time the real images started coming in, the same accounts came back to debunk them using references of the fake pictures they put out. If anyone can get what I'm trying to put together now, the moment you allow people with ulterior motives to center themselves in a legitimate conversation, you completely destroy the narrative. There are victims. We all understand that there is Christian persecution in Nigeria. Anyone who is denying that is an absolute themselves at the center of that subject. They automatically distort it and take the attention away from the real victims. And that automatically gives the government and the political party in power the opportunity to shift that conversation completely. Anyone with a straight thinking, with a functional brain, knows that the intel supply to the Americans was provided by Nigerians. It was provided by the Nigerian government. No doubt about that. It's not coming from one screwdriver guy somewhere. The screwdriver guy made moves. Without those moves, there's no way they would have referenced him in this conversation. So sometimes it's just better to let the real victims be the real victims and actually work out their own solutions rather than using the suffering of a certain group to front your own agenda. That's my point here. And whoever does not want to see it from that perspective is free not to do so. That's why it's a public platform. I stand by what I said. And people say stuff like, oh, your opinion has changed from this, from that. Look, nothing has changed. The truth is, no one is a robot. Nigerians, people of a certain group, want people to think in the form of herd mentality. It's okay to have a different opinion. I do have a different opinion on this subject, and it's a hill I'm willing to die on. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Omar, for your submission. Please, Ako, and I can see both of you raising your hand. If you do not mind, please, if I may ask a question before Omar leaves the platform. I'm not sure how long he's going to be here. If that's okay for you, with you, that's fine. But if not, I would allow you to air your view, Ako.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. So, Omar, please, if you can enlighten us, you read that article, right? Omar, okay.
Yes, I did.
The document or the report from the so-called screwdriver guy, when was that report made? Do you know the year?
Within the past year, within 2005.
Okay, 2005.
Oh, 2025.
2025. Okay. Now, do you know what month? You know, if you don't know, just tell me you don't know. Because
sorry, I'm going to have to go back and open it.
Okay. Please don't leave the bottom. So the screwdriver, thank you, sir. So the screwdriver gave the intel or the report in 2025 in your own word, right? Now, do you know when the American government sent some members of the congressmen to come and visit them? Do you know when the American government sent this into Nigeria? Do you know what year?
Yeah, that was late 2025.
Good.
The latter months of 2025, right. October, November, thereabout.
Right. Another question. Do you know when Senator Ted Cruz came up with this bill? Do you know what month or do you know what year?
No, I can't be specific.
Right, thank you. Now, this whole thing didn't start in 2025. Okay? Now, this thing started in 2020. I mean, maybe before then, but I'm just going to go with the document available. If you go back to when Trump was elected, this issue of Christian genocide was there. So now, if we're going to be honest to ourselves, in your own word, the person you're making reference to started his in 2025, right? There are people who have started this, who have talked about the silent slaughter is there. I believe you have seen that, you have read that report.
Oh yeah, the one really don't with
right?
People from the middle.
So how is it then that you want to make reference to something? You have not gone back to say, these are the people that are being killed. This guy started this in so and so much. This guy started this in currently in 2025 or even in 2020, 2025. The American government have sent some persons to come and do an eyewitness. You've not mentioned, you not referenced that. You can't see the problem here. With those individuals that were sent to Nigeria, did they visit the Southeast? If indeed we want to be honest ourselves, those individuals, did any of them visit the Southeast? Omar, please, if you do not mind responding.
No, not at all. They didn't visit the Southeast. They went to the areas that are concerned with the killing, Benue State and all of those places.
Okay, thank you. You've answered my question. Mike, actually, you have the mic.
Well, good morning, Mindset. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. It's going to be very short as usual. The reason why I requested to speak was, to respond to what I'm happy here. Omar, when you did make your first submission, you kept emphasizing on there's a direct linkage between between Intersociety and the Simon Ekpa. Please, I just want to know, can you show me or can you reference me to any article or any, just to substantiate that information? Because he kept saying a simple search will show that, and I've done a simple search and it's showing the opposite. I mean, there's a picture I put on the comment section. The exact opposite of what you said is, I have done extensive search. There is absolutely no linkage between Intersociety and Simon Ekpa. In fact, in December 2024, Simon Ekpa's boy, attacked, that was exactly on the 15th of December 2024. Gunmen who claim to be Simon Ekpa's disciple attacked Intersociety's board chairman and family members in Anambra, snatching Hillock's vehicle. So when you come up to say things like, I don't know. Please, can you point out, is there any way to show that relationship between Intersociety and Simon Ekpa and IPOB? Because I think that is the most important part of your submission here. Because it just feels like once any narratives are pushed, then there's an exploration to it. Yes, there's people tend to just believe it, and then whenever you come up to say, "Oh, make research, do this and do that," you probably think people won't. So I'm just here to learn. I'm not even. I mean, it's very obvious. We all know what's going on. We know what's going on. So I can't say more than I've said, or Mr. Mike. Yes, so there's a lot of people who are out there that are putting in the work. Then, secondly, there's something else I'm finding hard to understand. Let us assume that what the New York Times has put out is the the right is correct. You made the submission here, and you actually realize or agree to the fact that there are people dying, people are being killed. There's a Christian genocide going on. You did say here that anybody coming up to say there's no Christian genocide is lying to themselves. Now, what is the issue? We all know there's Christian genocide. Is it the person that passed the message of the Christian genocide that is the problem, or the actual fact that something is being done about the genocide? I don't know where the problem is coming from. If you thank you.
All right. Before before you respond to your question, I could thank you for your submission. Listen, I just want to make this very clear. Because somebody would join the time on it, but it would have some people would take it out of context. We're not have to defend, about those individuals who destroy some part of the Southeast state, right? So let's be very, very clear with that. Nobody, I do not think ACO is here to defend Simon Ekpa and his groups who have been, targeted terrorists who have distressed some part of the Southeast and caused a lot of problems to the Nigerian government in general. So let's be very, very mindful of that. Nobody is here to defend the atrocity of those people, and the good thing that he's been jailed, let him go and serve his things. So let's be very, very mindful of that as well. I'd like to respond to our people, but I will allow Mr. Becky to speak.
Oh yes, I'll respond to it. As you said you've done your research and you can't find any direct links. It's a public platform, so it's usually very it's a sensitive place to put certain things out there. It's always very important for us to check carefully. As you said, I'm just going to address the second part of your submission, which is where you asked if it's the messenger that is a problem for me. As I said, there are genuine victims in this conversation. The people of the Middle Belt and the Christians in northern Nigeria are the real victims. The moment another group centers itself in that conversation, you completely distort the narrative. And that's exactly where the New York Times article is coming from. Because if this guy did not get involved, if this Intersociety, whatever, didn't get involved, as Mindset said, there are people from the Middle Belt. The Christian genocide, the silent genocide document was written years ago. People who have been putting in that work for years. Post 2023 elections, and this is an uncomfortable truth. Post 2023 elections, there are people who completely feel embittered about the turnout of that election and are doing everything possible to politicize every aspect of genuine grievance in this country. And that is the problem. The moment you politicize every genuine grievance, you take attention away from the real victims. It's my own point. And whoever does not agree, it's okay to disagree. There are genuine victims. And the moment you push your own political grievance, your own secessionist agenda, and all of these things, and you try to reframe it around grievance of genuine victims, you are the one who's been disingenuous. You are the one who's been unfair. You cannot find more than the bereaved. You can't pretend to care about the people of the Middle Belt and the people of the Middle Belt themselves. The problem now is your intent. Your intent is to bring alleviation to the people of the Middle Belt, to the Christians in the North. No, your intent is to score political points from this subject, and that is the problem. That is my own problem with this whole thing. Nothing else. To be honest, nothing else. I'm not the most open person to Western intervention in any African country because we know that it always comes. But if that's not the problem, why not? You're using that the front for your own political grievance, that's when you're being disingenuous. And that's the point I'm willing to stand on, irrespective of the amount of verbal abuse you guys all at me.
All right. Thank you very much, Omar. Mr. Bike, you have the mic.
Thank you very much, myself. I've listened to Omar carefully, and I tend to get his point. There are facts in what he has said because we encountered it. When we presented the silent slaughter in 2020, the first group that lashed on it was IPOP. I'll get you linkages into what IPOP used the silent slaughter to. But fortunately for us, we had gone deep into the State Department, and we had into the State Department already before we released the silent slaughter became public. So when IPOP lashed, it was the same State Department that killed it, because they were aware that this is not an IPOP issue. I will try and get the links shortly and send it. Garba Shehu made a statement, made a press release then regarding the role IPOP was played in silent slaughter. Of course, we met with the DSS and we said, well, if they can show us our relationship. And of course, there was no relationship between PSD, ICON, and IPOP. So that killed it. So from what Omar is saying is what we do, actually what organizations and individuals do, actually do scuttle certain honest agendas. I'm talking from experience. For individuals, what David is doing today, wanting to scuttle, he can succeed, wanting to scuttle the issue of genocide in Nigeria. It can't work because we worked with him, met with him, had dinner with him separately in London. I know his position, I know what he wants. He wants a soft landing for the Nigerian government, and he feels this is an opportunity. So you see, the agenda you try to push, be it an organization or as individuals, ends up either backfiring on you or scuttling an honest agenda. So I think that is Sean Omar is taking. And I see his point because I have experienced. Like I said, I will look for links to what Garba Shehu said regarding we and IPOP, and what IPOP said between claim to be our relationship with them. I'll post them. I'll look for them. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mikey, for your response and for educating us as well. Now, here lies the problem. Your organization, some persons want to hijack it, right? Your organization did whatever you did to stop them, and the U.S. Department were unable to get involved. They don't want them to be part of it, right? That was then. Now, the thing here is this: why did the New York Times go back to something that the United States of America, right, say we're not going to be part of? I mean, we can see these things. These things very, we can see what the New York Times is trying to do. I don't know much. The little I know, I'm just trying to explain to people who would have an open mind and see where the problem is. Now, Mr. Mike, you are aware of the report on the 18th of October, I believe, right? That was from Houston Institute and the other organization, all those things. These guys were not mentioned. So why did the New York Times go back to that report that was sent to the President of the United States and say, looking at what Mr. A said and Mr. B said, why did they have to find a way to bring an Igbo man that has not contributed 1% of what people like yourself and those in the middle belt, who are the actual victims? The bone of contention here. I just want us to understand that. Omar, before I pass the mic back to you, okay, Ola, go ahead and I'll go back to Mr. White.
Mine said, hi, thank you. Now, I want to remind you of, was it last week that, on your space, either last week or 2 weeks ago, when the news came out about the government lobbying deal with the congressional lobbyists. You remember that I said something that it would take a while before you start seeing, and you will see the effect immediately. That's when you had your space, that the effect won't come out straight away. That you start seeing the effect later on. Now, when you look at that article, you could see that that article is doing what exactly, it's like a hit piece, dressed in nice clothes, in fanciful clothes and fanciful words. It's trying to add a discoloration to the whole problem that Nigeria is facing around, or when I mean Nigeria is facing as per image in around the Capitol Hill and in the American political class. Now you have, an evil man selling, who was selling stuff. And then you've got, he gave intel for them to bomb, or the intel on what was used to bomb Sokoto. It's also interesting how we came out just around the same time after the anniversary of the 15th of January 1966 coup. These people that we're dealing with are dubious. And, people, you could, if you sit down and study Nigerians can be dubious, and Nigerians are, I don't want to say, not clever. Some are not clever because they can't see the puppeteers and what they're doing. Because already they've started this. I can see from this conversation of this place, it's already going down the Simon Ekpa, IPOP, ASN narrative. And then what does that do? It shifts the focus away from the real problem, which is the killing of Christians in northern Nigeria. That's just what I wanted to add.
All right, thank you. Bike, you have the mic, sir.
Thank you very much, Minister. Sorry, can you get back? I'll get back. Let me
okay, okay, that's okay. Omar, please go ahead. You raise your hand.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think Mr. Ola is basically what I've said earlier. And to be honest, I feel like because of the sensitivity of the subject, a lot of people are going to lynch you rather than actually understand the perspective you're coming from. Mindset, you mentioned something in your previous submission before you handed the mic. You said, why would they be hanging on to someone who has not done 1% of what the real people that are putting in the work have done? That's it. You understand the media. In the propaganda department, you just need that 1%. You don't actually need. I don't know if anyone has watched the series on Netflix. It's called Homeland. There's a particular Russian operative there called Yevgeny Kukov. And if you make the represent, sometimes you don't need the whole thing. You just need to sow this and water it and let it just grow by itself. That is what that man, the screwdriver guy, whatever in society, that is what they managed to do for the government. And Mr. Ola mentioned something that I completely agree with. That New York Times article is an effect of the lobbying efforts of the Nigerian government itself. So people can coexist. It's as simple as that. If you do not give them the room to discuss that conversation, it would not happen. All they needed was that little opening. There's a proverb in my language that says, if the well does not open, the leader would not find the way in. What you've done by allowing this whatever NGO to impute themselves in this conversation, that's the result of it. It's going to distort the whole narrative. Now the conversation has shifted completely away from the real victims. And it's about, oh yeah, it's coming from the east. And in my own opinion, as I said, I mentioned that, and I'm still willing to stand by that, you can see the connection. The moment you politicize the grievances of genuine victims, the moment you put yourself at the center of that conversation, you take the attention away from the real subject. You take it completely away from the real subject. And in my own opinion, honestly, I did, and I genuinely that when the targets, when the American government actually intervened and they went all the way to Sokoto, there were so many questions in my head. I was asking myself, as a matter of fact, I started doing research. What kind of groups are operating in Sokoto? And then I found the Lakura. There's an extensive report written by a guy called Bennett and some academic group. They wrote an extensive report on the militant groups operating in the north and all that. And then I was like, okay, yeah, okay, who knows? Maybe that's where the whole thing is coming from. I'm sure I'm not the only Nigerian. I started asking questions like, we all know where the real persecution of Christians has happened over the years. And much as the murder happened in places like Sokoto, it's not the real epicenter of the situation. So obviously, you can put two and two together that in terms of supply, obviously by the Nigerian government, to a place that is convenient. And obviously maybe there are targets there, who knows? But that is not the real place where the real thing is going on. So when the Americans came, they actually went to where where the stuff is happening, and didn't see any action over there. Who knows? Maybe the government is taking more action in those areas now. You never can tell. But the core part of my argument is let the real victims push their case forward. Do not use your own political grievance or agenda to disrupt the narrative of people that are actually going through the real suffering. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Omar. But this is the problem here, right? Now, we will have accepted that we are all Nigerians, even though some people will disagree that they're not Nigerian. But as long as we use the same green passport and we're still in this um, country, or we belong to Nigeria, Nigeria. So if we're going to follow your line of thought by saying that let the real victims be the ones who would speak for themselves, we have a problem. Now, what that means is if somebody's been killed in a different part of the country, and somebody like yourself who's not from that part of the country say, you know, one thing, let's not get involved. Let those people speak for themselves, right? But then again, we claim to be Nigerians. I think it doesn't sit well. And for somebody like yourself who understand politics and understand how things should work, we cannot, as a people, say, let the people who are the victims carry it by themselves alone. Yes, of course, they should get involved. But if there is any way someone like yourself can lend your voice in the kidnapping happening in Zamfara State, happening in Oyo State, happening in Imo State, and what have you, it's very important if we really want to build this country. Only if we have all agreed that, okay, we are not a country, let's divide, everybody to their own. But here lies the problem again. You said something that I think is very important we correct this thing, right? Now, you mentioned that a lot of people are trying to play, please correct me if I'm wrong, sir, play politics because they lost the election. That is very, very wrong. And I will tell you why it's wrong, because you're making reference to a certain part of the country, obviously, even I will understand who you're making reference to. This is the same thing that the spokesperson of the DP have done, which is not right. It's the same ethnic vetting, which is not right. And I will tell you why it's not right. When Mr. Peter Obi visited America and came back, and the whole thing, the narrative shifted that, oh, he went to America and then this whole thing started. But he's not the only one who has spoken about Donald Trump. The PDP chairman, the factional PDP chairman, Mr. Tura Hesse, has actually called on the Americans to come and help Nigeria. Mr. Omar, if you have not seen it, please tell me you have not seen it, or look for it, I will send it to you, right? Are you not saying that the PDP chairman is trying to call a political point? We've got to be very, very careful here. The PDP chairman, who is a northerner, said, and I'm quoting him right now, he's calling on Donald Trump to come and help the Nigerian government, the opposition in Nigeria. Are you not saying that the PDP chairman is trying to score a political point here? Omar, if you have not seen that video, I will do my best to find that video and send it to you. And you know my position when it comes to the opposition, and people dislike me for it. I do not, I'm not aligning with whatever they're doing. I'm just an individual in my. But we must, as a people, be able to look at these things and say to ourselves, A is A, B is B. Let's not cause more harm than the unity we are trying to build in this country. Have you seen that video, Omar, where the PDP chairman, the fractional chairman, the PDP chairman said,
yeah, I've seen it, and I didn't want to interject you. Well, let's put it the other way around. If you were to be the PDP that was in power, and the APC makes such moves, the PDP will accuse the APC of trying to score political points. That's how it works in this country. We all understand. The party in power automatically becomes the greatest protector of the country, the one who loves the country the most. And every word that comes from the opposition sounds like an attempt to score political points. If it was the other way around, they would have done the same thing. We all understand what the PDP guys are trying to do. If they were to be the one in power, and somebody from a different party was saying that, they'll tell you that you're demarketing Nigeria. Like, that's what it is. It's never really political parties against each other. It's the people versus the political class in the way that I see it. And I think about different sides of the same point.
So sorry, I'm going to cut it because of that. Now, you see how difficult it is for you to respond to this, and I will tell you why you're struggling to respond to it, right? You made the New York Times made mention of somebody, an Igbo man, and you in your own way said, because people are trying to score a political point with this whole thing, this is why the New York people have to be very careful. You're making reference to Peter, but without even mentioning his name, right? Okay, you felt that. Please, I'm paraphrasing here. Correct me if I'm wrong. You felt that okay because he didn't win the election in polls.
No,
now,
no,
1 minute.
Okay,
1 minute. Okay. All right, I withdraw that statement. So, okay. So it would appear that the people from the South thought that they didn't win the election, right? Or people from their side didn't win the election. Okay. Now it felt that this is why they are trying to use this whole Christian genocide to score a political point. I withdraw the statement because you never mentioned Peter this name, but I am the one mentioning his name right now. Now you see where the problem lies. It's not. He has not been the only one who lost the election. I think Abubakar contested the election on the platform of the PDP. He's not a member of the PDP as it stands right now. So we've got to be very, very careful. We've got to be very, very careful with this thing. This thing cannot help us. In my own humble opinion, a lot of people might disagree here, is this New York Times article was done for a certain region, just to put them against a certain region. And politically, it would serve APC very well. And I will explain to you why it would serve APC very well. If for any reason the opposition were to choose somebody who is from the south, so he's from the north, and look for somebody who from the southeast especially, to be the vice to that person, this whole narrative will work. I will tell you why it will work. Some persons in the north say, no, we are not going to vote for this candidate. You know why? Because it's working with some person, with some group of people or somebody from this part of the country whose people were the ones that gave America intel to bomb us. That story will fly. Anyone who understands politics better than myself will tell you that story will fly. Right? Now, if for any reason the opposition presents somebody who is somebody from the southeast and pair him up with somebody from the north, they will still flip the coins and say, no, we're not supposed to support him. You know why? Because his people were the ones who did this thing to us, right? And then why can't we work with him? So it served APC very well. I want us to look at this in a three different angles. The ethnic side of this whole thing, the ethnic profiling of this whole thing, we cannot shy away from it. The political side of it and the humanist side of it, right? We can wriggle around it. We can speak all, but the truth is, looking at us in our faces, but we can decide not to believe it. But that's my position, and I would pass the mic to Ola. You have the mic.
Mindset. Just that I don't want this to come across like a three-way thing and back and forth between you, me, and Omar. But just another thing that when he said that, why should people leave this to the real victims or the actual victims? And he reminded me of a famous quote by Reverend Martin Niomuna. First, they came for communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. And then they came for Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. I would never, ever stop speaking out for people because one day I might need people to speak up for me. And like you said, rightly mindset, we're all Nigerians, Northerners, Middle Belters, South, Southwest, wherever we come from, whatever our thing is, we should have that thing. Humanity should always come first. So I totally disagree with that idea that why should we take on this fight? Because it's not our fight. Why should we shout more than the people who are being killed? No, not on my net. No. Yes, it's a public forum, like you said. We can have different opinions, but Omar, on this one, I would happily disagree till I take my last breath.
All right. Nobody's taking their last breath at this point. You're going to be with us, and your contribution matters. And I like you rightly put it out there. It is an open platform. We can agree and we can disagree. And please, I'm begging everybody, those on the comment section, let's be very, very mindful, right? If you're able to come on this platform to speak and respond to some of the things that Omar said, you're welcome to do so. The name callings is not something I think we should continue with. I begged last year, and this year I'm begging again. I do not think this platform will work better for us if we continue this thing about name callings and everything. Disagree with myself or the speakers and everything, but name callings doesn't help. It's not going to help us, right? Whether we are 5 persons on this platform, I know some of this whole thing bring a lot of traffic. I am not interested in it. I like to have conversation where I am able to learn. I believe others are able to learn. Let's be very, very mindful in the things we put out on the comment section, please, guys. Okay, do we have any other person? Omar, please, before I pass the mic back to you, sir, can we? Okay, go ahead. You raise your hand. Go ahead, then I'll go to Aku.
Thank you very much, my friend. To be honest, in the comment section, I do my best to avoid you completely. But there's a video on the internet. The day America redesignated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, there's a video of the internet of people from the eastern region in America. They made a video and they were literally celebrating it. And when I saw that video, in my head, I thought to myself, like, this is proper propaganda material for the APC. Like, you're literally giving them the ammunition to destroy this entire conversation. Because now they can easily just channel it to a regional, ethnic, secessionist agenda whatsoever. The quote by Martin Nemula that Ola mentioned, it's a quote I'm familiar with. And yes, he's right. We can't all keep silence in the face of evil. You see, in my own opinion, I believe that Nigeria is a very complex society. There are so many sensitivities in our politics. And when we're trying to do good, sometimes it's important for us to be sensitive about how that good might actually affect the real victims of the situation. And I think that's something that wasn't put into consideration when all these efforts were being made by Intersociety or whatsoever group that tried to impute itself in this conversation. Because that's why we're having this particular conversation right now. We can tell, as I mentioned earlier, the effect of the Nigerian lobbying efforts is what is starting to materialize through the New York Times article. And they needed something to latch onto. They needed a place to redirect the conversation. And you provided them useful ammunition to use it and just destroy the whole thing. So my point stands, and honestly, I have to get to a mindset. And please, I saw, as you said, they have been saying, people have been mentioning me and saying, oh, you're you're this, you're that. I think we need to understand something clearly. That we are a country of multiple ethnicities and different, faiths. And people are going to disagree with you. The fact that they disagree with your viewpoint today does not suddenly make them a bigot. When I was working actively for the Labour Party candidate during the 2020 elections, I wasn't a bigot at the time. But now, because I do not see things from that perspective again, and I don't see myself supporting him in any future election, that automatically makes me a bigot. I think we need to go outside and talk fast. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. I hope hopefully you're not leaving the platform. The thing here is everybody has the right to campaign or support any candidate for any reason you feel that the candidate you supported or you're not interested in them anymore. It's your right, and I do not think anybody should get upset about it. The word bigot has been abused in the Nigerian settings, right? I do not think there's anybody who have been called down more than myself, right? Even yourself, Omar, if you remember 2022, you felt that I should, come out and tell you who I'm working with and everything, and it nearly caused a problem, if you remember. So you and I have had our problem, not only you guys. You guys felt that, okay, where is this guy cleaning? What is he doing? He's working for this and all this. I've had it all. And I continue to try my possible best to create a forum where we can all agree and disagree. But there's something interesting I wanted to respond. Okay. Omar, please do stay with us. I know you say you're going right now, but if you're going to spend some minutes with us, let me hear from Marco, and I will ask my question. Marco, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mindset. It's not really to make a submission. It's just to remind the Omar, please, if you can, just to point me to, that your initial article or whatever that is linking, that establishes the link between Intersociety and, let me not just call the name, not to rile up the conversation, but you know what I'm talking about. I just need to, so it's just for learning purposes. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Omar, please, if you're able to send it to him, or if you don't have access, whichever way you work for both of you, he really needs to see it, and if you can help him, that would be really appreciated. Now, before I pass the mic to Maz, who has just joined us now, you see, APC themselves, in my own little opinion, some of them are not comfortable because they know that this thing will cause more problem than good, as as Omar's trying for us to say that APC is making the best out of it. One of the persons who has been at the vocal of this whole thing is a man known by as FFK. He has always talked about, there's no Christian genocide. He hated Trump and all what have you in the last couple of months, right? But if you go back to his tweets, I know his tweets can go left, right, and center. The way he addressed this New York thing, because he has been he will be an ambassador. We don't know where they're going to post him. You can tell that the APC themselves, some persons in the APC want to believe in the hierarchy. Some of them might not be comfortable with the way the narrative is, right? Because it put the government in a very, very difficult position. On one hand, the Nigerian government said that they provided intel to the United States, right? And they were very proud of it. The Daniel Bola went on Sky TV and what have you, to boast about how the Nigerian government is working in collaboration with the United States. Now, the New York Times is not saying that, no, that's not what happened. The reason Donald Trump decided to do what he did is because an intel gotten from a so-called screwdriver seller. So it put the government in a very difficult place, in as much as we want to look at it from that angle, right? But the biggest problem here is the technique thing that they're trying to create. I think it was Sadiq that said earlier on this morning, it could appear that they have succeeded, but I do believe that with the help of Nigerian, that will not fly. Because we don't want to go back to 1966. We don't want to go back. People in Sokoto State are still trading with the people of the Southeast. People in the Southeast are, quite a number of them are in Sokoto State trading and everything, right? People in the Southeast are in every part of the Nigeria. People in Southwest and everything, everybody's trading. People are doing their thing here. There are a few people who would try to cause commotions, but we've got to be very, very careful with what this thing will result in the future if care is not taken. Okay? Thank you. Omar, please stay with us. Let me hear from Maz. Maz, you have my good morning, sir.
Yeah, Mike said good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Let me start by saying that the New York report is a bad use of our $9 million that we are basically giving to Americans. Now, the reason why I didn't join myself, I've been here, I've been in the listener session for a very long time. Sometimes I want to just be on the listener session to listen and to learn. But there is also an adage that said that an elder cannot be in the house while the goat gives birth in Turtle, or rather while tied to rope. There are certain things that I've heard that are not entirely correct, and it behoves on me to put the record straight. To start with, when an injustice is done to a person or a people, it is disingenuous to believe or to think that it's only that person and his household that should speak about it. Therefore, if any other person speaks about it, then that person is not right to do so. Recall that there was a time for over 3 years that the Southeast was besieged by insecurity, caused by themselves, by their own children. Now, and as a result of the Southeast, as a result of fear of those living in Southeast not to talk, or rather, those living in Southeast being unable to talk, it took Nigerians who are outside the Southeast, who are not directly affected by that, but were alarmed by the insecurity in the Southeast, to lend their voice to say, guys, this nonsense and madness ought to stop and must stop. It gave the leadership of the Southeast the impetus, knowing that there are people actually, out there supporting us, giving us hope and morale to fight this monster. Will it then be that tomorrow somebody will say, oh, when there was insecurity in the Southeast, why did you lend your voice? Then what to the middle belt? I have in the last about 6 months now, or I have had series of interviews with the leadership of the middle belt, and in all those conversations, when they will come and say on my platform what is happening within the middle belt, one of the ones that broke my heart is what I heard about that happens to the Christians in Gaza, in Borno State. I was alarmed that till today, communities, after about 5 years, are unable to go back to their houses. I was alarmed. These things are recorded. They are still there on YouTube. Real victims talking that even when the government of Borno kind of relocated the IDPs, that the Christians were discriminated against. Letters written, appeals made, documented. How dare then, when some people now come on a platform to say that maybe tomorrow someone will say you are an agenda? I land in the Southeast and on Emekoma Barasi and the Intersociety and the New York report. Intersociety yesterday issued a statement, which I've shared on the Jumbotron, disputing that report, that they were misquoted, misrepresented on the interview they had. Please, everybody, go and read that. They have issued a report. Now, aside that report, Intersociety since 2006, I think Intersociety was formed, 2008. Intersociety was formed 2008. Since 2008, they have been issuing reports on predominantly on extrajudicial killing, human rights abuses. Most times they do work with Amnesty International. That the government now singled out Intersociety like some of us have said here, or their report, is suspicious here. There is nothing that Intersociety have said that local amnesty in Nigeria hasn't. There is nothing that Intersociety has done, like when one of us said that when the video came out, some people with red cap were jubilating, and I laugh. I think this morning, Frank Uto, UTOO, FRNC, FRNCH, had an interview today on Channel TV. I had that yesterday. I just saw the video. I haven't watched it. He's a man that has spearheaded this. He lives in America. He's from the Middle Belt. He relocated as a result of this insecurity. He now lives in America. He spearheaded. He was one of those in December that organized with Steve Osenwagi, and Mike Arnold. These were people who, before now, spearheading this. When you see them rejoice, and I wonder, there are other photos and videos of people of the Middle Belt in the United States jubilating when this CPC was announced. Why did those people from the Middle Belt that are victims, some of them relocated as a result of it, why did their photos and videos not trend? But again, these individuals you've seen in that video are people working with the Middle Beltons to say, we live here, and what is happening in this part of the world is not right, and we will help to make the Americans hear the cry. I do not see any wrong that these guys have done there. Now, on the part that this Intersociety is linked to the IPOP, ESN, ECBA, whatever, that's an absolute bomb. Sorry. You know why I say that? You cannot be an NGO reporting on human rights abuse in the Southeast without having a touch point with the aforementioned groups. Because when you talk about, if you go back to the year 2015, 2014, 2015, the activities of these groups then, we know how the security agencies that treated them, that made Amnesty International and the Intersociety to really put up a report as to extrajudicial activities that had happened within that region, consistently so. Even when these groups had gone ahead and unleashed the mayhem that unleashed in this region, the same group had consistently updating the world as to what is happening here. So there is no way anybody can deny the touch point that this is a group that is in Onitsha, the heartland of the Southeast, with offices in all the states in the Southeast. Whenever they want to have a press conference, they hold a press conference in Enugu, sometimes in nowhere, and reporting about the activities and the happenings in the Southeast. There is no way you can talk about insecurity in the Southeast without mentioning these groups. And there is no way they will write reports, talk about what is happening in the Southeast. You can't, you can't make an egg, you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. So that's the touch point. So the final analysis here is that, as Mindset said, there are some people in the APC that really have understood that the government is probably going in a direction they didn't expect. And yesterday when FKK made his Facebook post saying, if I read his words, he made it very clear that anyone who believes what the New York Times wrote in the words of FKK, he said that person should borrow sense. They should borrow sense. On that, I yield. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mazi, for your submission. Now, for those who have joined the platform, I want to make it very clear: nobody is here trying to defend the mayhem and the atrocity of the IPOB or ESN or Imanis people, what the commotion, the atrocity they committed in the Southeast. I hope that's my position anyway. So I do not know about you guys. So I'm not here to to defend that. They did a lot of damage to the Southeast and Nigeria in general. So we're just going to be very clear with that. Some people would want to run an agenda and say, okay, the platform was protecting this individual. No, they did a lot. I mean, nobody in the right sense, in their right mind would want to defend those people for the destruction and the atrocity they committed in the Southeast. But thank you very much, Mazi. Now, you mentioned Frank Uto. Frank was part of the individual that spoke on Wednesday, and I'm happy you mentioned him and the other individuals, Stephen as well. Stephen, yes, he spoke on Wednesday, and just to collaborate to press what you said. These are the people, Steve is from Edo State, but Frank spoke. The video is still out there. You can go, not the one the interview you make reference to. I want everyone to go back and listen to that video. If I'm able to post it, I will do my best to do so, right? Listen to him narrating what happened. He's not talking to mindset spaces. It's not on the platform. It's called Nigerian Briefing, Strategic Next Step. And it was put together by Jude Saul. I believe some of you know who Jude Saul is, right? And Jude Saul is somebody who has traveled, in his own words, part of Nigeria, and especially in the Middle Belt. And he was telling the United States congressmen and some of the senators who were present at that event that the problem here is they are moving away from the right, the thing here, the focus. The focus is about the killings of those in the Middle Belt, right? By the Fulani ethnic militia. And I really love the question Stephen asked. Stephen now asked the question, how do we differentiate? I'm paraphrasing, please. About Fulanis and, let's not think about Fulanis and everything. And one of the congressmen responded to Stephen and said, yeah, that's a very good question. We have some people who are not committing this crime. Not all Fulanis are terrorists. So we've got to be able to differentiate that as well, because that's when somebody see a Fulani person, we all jump everybody and say all Fulanis are terrorists. No, right? So I want to yield on that. Aku, you have the mic.
Thank you very much, Mindset. You see, just like you pointed out, I do not want, what I'm trying to do here is to kind of establish, the opposite of what Omar, his initial submission, because anyone paying attention, it would appear that because he had said, oh, there are, facts, there are, linkages, relationship between Intersociety and the IPOB and Simon Ekpa. And that would then, go on to feed into what you said earlier about the government using this as a chip when it comes to the election in the north, to say, oh, the southeast is doing this, they are, provided the information and all of that for the attack against Sokoto. In Sokoto, you see, I'm finding it difficult really to comprehend, a lot of things here, because ever since I heard that, I've been looking, and everything. There are multiple articles that have been written by Intersociety indicting Simon Ekpa, condemning him. So as as every one of us here have been as well. I'm not an IPOB apologist. I don't support Simon Ekpa in whatever way. They all deserve what they got. But then for you to come around and say that, Intersociety was working, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say here, because this is a very dangerous precedent, and that is what I'm trying to speak against. There's an article here titled "Who is Killing Who Outside the Law in Igbo Land?" It was written by Intersociety, and that article directly points to Simon Ekpa as the culprit. There's also another one, alleged quest for state jihadism and other analytical documents. It's also written by Intersociety. It's on their website. And Simon Ekpa was pointed. I did say here, on 15th of December 2024, this series of attacks and articles and all of that led Simon Ekpa boys to attack Intersociety chairman, seizing his hillocks and all of that. So, please, again, Omar, if you have any article or anywhere where that you've established that there's a linkage, between what Intersociety, their lobby, whatever, and how it supports the agenda of the IPOB or it supports Simon Ekpa and whatever, please, I want to see. It's simple.
But
Thank you.
Aku, yes, he said he was going to send it to you. You remember, you had me ask him to remind him of it. So let's hope that maybe he's not able to do. I'm not here to defend him. You guys know my position in as much as some people disagree with me. That's okay. Let's hope that he's still looking for it. Maybe we'll share with you as we're on this platform. Maybe after the plan. But for every, he said it and he's going to give it to you. I hope he will. I could hope that's okay with you. Hello?
Hello, yes. I really hope he does. I really hope he does. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Ola, you have the mic.
Mindset. It seems like this discussion is being derailed and being pointed in along that point about what Omar did say. And he did say, because in his own words, was like anybody who has access to the internet can do a quick search and find it. Now, I belong to a group where our motto on the WhatsApp group is if you make an assertion, you have to back it up. He's been asked a few times now, and he did say, well, it's a quick search on the internet. He should by now either put those things up or withdraw that statement. It's as simple as that. You made a assertion, and he said, no, that's what not he said, and you withdrew it straight away. There's no, you see, we should come to a point where if we say something and we can't back it up, and people are bringing contrary evidence to it, then either you put up or shut up, not literally shut up, but is either you substantiate what you said or withdraw it, so we can get back to the focus of this space, because person after person has been coming on and sticking to that same point, and we're not moving on.
Thank you very much. So, Omar, you heard Aku, and you heard what Ola said. Are you still sticking to the point that there is an article that tied Simon Ekpa with Intersociety? Are you sticking to that point? Sorry, can somebody help me? Am I still audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Let me try once again. Omar, I believe, I hope you're able to hear me. So let me ask once more. Are you still sticking to your argument or the point that you made that there is an article that ties the Intersociety with Simon Ekpa? All right, it's not responding. So, Omar, if you can hear me, sir, please, can you kindly unmute your mic? Maybe your mic is muted and you're speaking, please. All right, it's not responding. Hopefully, he would do so before we run the. So, let's go back to the. Mazi, you raised your hand earlier on. I'm not sure what that's with you. Mazi, you raised your hand earlier.
A mindset, not anything serious. It's just that when Ako said something, Omar put up a laughing emoji, so meaning he's not far from his phone, and for reasons personal to him, he's not able to unmute. But having said that, again, I think like the previous speaker said, let's not belabor this issue. The Intersociety is an organization that I know very well. The person in question is a person I also know very well. Uh, Even beyond the things people read online, you know the mind of a person when you have a private conversation with that individual, not on telephone but face to face, and you ask these hard questions. I mean, I do not think anybody here is here to defend the entities aforementioned and for the, if not for anything, for the havoc they caused in the southeast. Many of us, our positions are well known on that can never be supported. But again, one will not be in a place where information is also being shifted and not saying anything. Now, to the essence of this space, without going back to the old thing that was said before, I think it's again. I think, as I said at the beginning, it's a misuse of our $9 million. This is a government that is losing the grip, in my view, and is trying to, sadly, because it hurts, that government could be fingered in something that could degenerate into an ethnic tension in a nation that we know that is passing through a lot. It it makes me begin to question the thinking of those who are in government or those who make decisions or those who even act on our behalf. If they do not understand that the nation is sitting on edge, or if they do not have the interest of the nation at heart, that would make anyone, even if it's somebody that conceived it and sold it to you, for you to even, I mean, now that allegation is mine. I'm not saying government, there is nowhere that that is written that government is behind it. I am the one making the allegation, having looked at everything, and this now coming from um, um, coming from New York Times. It's actually going to, and it's also doing much damage to them. The video has surfaced where Donald Trump also said that his entity is a carrier of fake news. Aside that, the thing where I would then end on a lighter note is that if it took a screwdriver seller, as they called him, to provide the intel that made America to do, to intervene in Nigeria, what it means that the screwdriver seller is probably better clued on and better with his research methodology than those who are paid heavily to defend us. And I would say, in the words of Wike, if you didn't dare, you didn't dare. So maybe in this case, you don't have what it takes to protect you and I. They shouldn't hand over to the screwdriver to screw things together. Thank you.
All right, that's Mr. Sorry, I said Mr. Mazi. That's interesting. That's Mazi's opinion. If he thinks that the Nigerian government is not able to provide the security or the intel to help fight this insecurity, it would not mean that why not give it to the screwdriver? Well, for me, I just want to put that. I think the difficult thing here for me is that if we don't handle this thing carefully, it will stick, right? In the next 10 years, 15 years, or somebody will make reference to this. There was a time, where Nigeria was this, and somebody from this place did something to this, and it will stick. This is why it's very important that we have to be very, very careful when it comes to issues like this. As I said yesterday, when you see something that is not right, using a laughing emoji is not helpful because it means two things, right? It's either you're laughing that this thing has been exposed, or you're laughing at the article, or the necessity of the article. The best thing to do, if you want to, you don't have to. is to put out your thoughts and put out argument against it. A lot of people laugh at things. Emojis don't really do much when it comes to sensitive issues like this. And as I will continue to say, you people might get tired of me saying it. There are people from the Southeast trading in Sokoto State. They are free to do their trading. They are working with the people in Sokoto State. They are buying and selling. Everybody is doing their thing. That's what we need. There are people from Sokoto State trading in the Southeast. They are doing their businesses, and everybody's living peacefully. There are people from Sokoto State in the Southwest, in Oyo State, in Ondo State. They are doing their businesses. There are people from Sokoto State in the South, in River State, and then there are people from the Southeast, in the North, in Oyo State, and everything. This is the thing that we have now as Nigerians. We want to see how we can build on this unity we have, in as much as some people do not want to believe there's a unity. But some persons feel that the best way to go about it is to bring this unity between the North and the Southeast, right? If you guys cannot see the handwriting on the wall, I'm sorry to say, it is just what it is. Okay, Omar, you raise your hand. You have the mic.
Yes, I did. And contrary to what everyone thinks, it's not like I'm trying to avoid the conversation. Obviously, I have my thing going on, and there has to be delivery. I don't know if this space is recorded, but Mr. Ako, you keep coming back to ask me for a direct link between Intersociety and the IPOB group. But that's why I said there's a danger of listening to respond and not actually listening to understand. I'm not sure you heard me right, because I said a simple Google search would help you connect the dots. Would help you connect the dots. Like, if you can go back and listen to the space, that would clarify it. If you do your research and you're not able to connect the dots, that's fine. It's an independent perspective. It's not you. It's completely. It's okay for you to have a completely different view of things. If you put two and two together and it does not look like four to you, that's okay. If I put two and two together and it looks like four to me, I'm entitled to that opinion. I'm not asking me to withdraw the statement. Like, at no point did I categorically state that there's a direct link between them. And if you connect the dots, you would see the link. And if you don't want to see it, that's totally okay. As I said, there's a video available on the internet. The day Nigeria was designated as a country of particular concern, certain people celebrating it as a result of their own lobbying efforts. I didn't put that video on the internet. I'm not the one who recorded the video. So it's a bit strange where you keep coming back and asking me, oh, where's the direct link between this and that? There are lobbying groups that have been hired by different people in Nigeria. I will be inclusive, but we don't want to touch on that subject. And everyone has different opinions and different objectives that they're pushing. So you coming back to ask me to provide a direct link and making it look like, oh, I need to provide it. I don't. If you do the research and it doesn't look like that to you, that's okay. I'm entitled to my perspective, absolutely, and I stand by it.
All right, thank you very much, Omar. Let me come in here, please. If you remember, there was a time I did ask you about the article, and I asked you if you're able to send it to him. You responded that you will. So what's changed? Because the bit of contention here is that there's an article that links both together. So if you're saying that a single Google search would help him to see how these dots were connected, you wouldn't have responded to say you send the article, right? Please, somebody help me out. Am I right? Am I missing anything? Hello?
Mindset. When somebody says connect the dots, what you are saying is that you can find the link between A and B. Let's break it down linguistically. He said you can connect the dots. Connect the dots is saying you could put this and that together and you could see a direct linkage. Unless my understanding of connect the dots is different, or I've always known it as wrong. Yes, he says, well, what people are now ascribing to him, and he keeps on saying people listen to respond, not to understand. Unfortunately, if one person is saying one thing, and like 10 different people at 10 different places hearing the same thing, have the same understanding of this response, of this comment, we're not all wired to listen to listen, it's not as if our brains are connected together to respond the same way. So maybe it's time for him to reflect on what he said. And yes, Like you said, some people are like that. They will never, they don't believe they're wrong. They believe, and yes, he's entitled to his opinion, but it's the sound of of a sign of a great mind is when you're confronted with a superior argument, or you can't substantiate what you've said, let it go. It doesn't make you a lesser person. That's my opinion.
So, Ola, sorry, if I may ask, so what exactly are you asking me to draw back on now? Like,
Okay.
I want to understand that the viewpoint that I
No,
have
no,
on a particular subject, I should erase
Okay,
it.
Omar, good morning. Now, your first, I think it was the first,
Yes, it was the first
you were
submission.
saying that if you connect the dots, you will see that there is a link between that society and the likes of EPA. You said that.
Okay.
Now, when
Yeah.
you said there's a link between them, that is not an assumption. What you're saying is that anything that that society brings out, it has to be. And then you know when said well, the day that Nigeria was designated as a place of concern, people from a certain area, but you use the word that wear red cap, we know what you're talking about, were out to say, and you said that is out there. You also said that there's a case of whataboutism and we shouldn't do all of it. Now, what you have done, or the way you've painted it, is that Simon Ekpa and that society are working in cahoot. Now, from what other people have come out to show, and some people have put it on the comment section, that is the complete opposite. That ESN have attacked this society. They've done things to them. So that information that people have put out there shows it to be contrary to the position that you originally put out there. That's what's causing people to come back and back and back about this. Nothing else. And please don't take it personal.
No, it's not personal.
Yeah.
It's not
so
personal.
it's just, and that's why I said that. Look, I don't want us to derail this discussion about the killings of Christians in the north, because now people are going down to that an ethnic coloration and all these things, and that's why I said earlier on that you did say a quick internet search will find this thing. Do the quick internet. I know you said you're busy and you've got other things you're doing. If you can do a quick internet search, do it, put it up there. But if you can't find it, that's why I said withdraw with the statement. But like you rightly said, you have the right to your opinion and you don't have to. It was just a suggestion. Because I don't want a case where, because yes, I've seen the comment section, and I don't want anybody targeting or making statements towards you or towards anybody. Because at the end of the day,
that's totally fine. Mr. Ola, I'm used to
No,
that.
Omar, please, Ola, please, if I may, Omar, sorry,
Okay.
please. Allow him to finish, then you know how the problem runs, right? So we can be able to hear you clearly, and nobody will misquote you. Ola, I apologize, please continue with the solutions.
No, mindset, please. There's no need for anything. Like I said, we're all learning. Now, what I'm trying to say, Omar, is that look, we all are human beings and we all have feelings. I will not want anybody to attack me for something I said or something I've done. If I reflect and think, oh, this isn't what is meant to, the position I'm holding isn't what it's meant to be, then I will take it back. Now, like you rightly said, yes, there's, and this is why I said that the whole idea of this, mindset would confirm this. The day they announced, he had a space on the day after the issue about the lobbying from the government and everything, and I told him, I said, this thing, you will start seeing the results soon. Now, there's something, things fall apart. The thing that cannot hold. If we cannot get a house in order, if we cannot all agree, irrespective of where we come from, that there's a problem, and how do we deal with this problem? What will happen? The problem will continue. People, Christians, Nigerians will get killed, Muslims will get killed. And then this governor just gets a buy. They just carry on like as if, business as usual, nothing will happen. And people keep on losing their lives. That's why I don't want us to lose focus.
All right. Sorry. Thank you, Ola. Omar, please go ahead with your response or your submission then.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Ola. And as you said, it's not personal. I don't like to retweet certain things on my own timeline because it kind of like just, I don't know. There's certain narratives I don't want to fuel. but I'll be forced to do that and just put certain things out there because, as I said, these things are there. The thing about the internet is you see what you want to see, and you have viewpoints that you want to have, depending on where your sentiments lie. In this case, as I said, I see things a certain way, and I'm able to connect certain dots in respect to certain people making certain moves on this particular subject. And it's out there for everyone to see. So if people choose to see it separately, that's fair. Am I going to roll back on the fact that I connected certain dots and I feel a certain way? No, I'm not going to roll back on that. If you say people have presented superior arguments, yes, it's fine. They may see it that way, but I see things differently. And I'm completely entitled to that opinion. And that's why the value of free speech will never be negated in modern society. So that's just what I see.
Okay, I could please go ahead, sir.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much, Mindset. Again, I want to apologize, Mindset, because it would appear that this whole conversation has been center stage and your input. But it's very important that we respond to certain things, and especially when it comes to things that are, geared at emphasizing division rather than trying to bring us together as a people. When Omar came up here to make his first submission, what really caught my attention was the fact that he said a quick internet search will point you to the fact that there's a linkage between these two people. And I did that, and instead I got the opposite. I don't know if I mean I'm not a child. I can send things, I can read things, and I don't know when opposite equates direct linkage or direct collaboration between people who have historically and evidently been at loggerheads. I don't know how you want to spin that around to mean that there is a linkage between these two groups. Now, another reason why I'm also, pointing this out is because there is tendency, that people listening here will come up, maybe people are not able to come up even, will hear what Omar has said. Oh, there's a possibility that if you do a big internet search, you're going to see the linkage between Intersociety and the likes of EPA and, the collaboration and all of that. And they'll feel like, all right, because Omar sounds intelligent, he sounds well educated. So people will probably not feel the need to fact check or to, go and look at these things for themselves. They will run along with it and just go on with that ideology. So that is why I said, all right, hold on. Again, I did not initially check it just to dispute it. I just checked it for the purpose of learning. And then I was surprised to see, oh, this is not right. This is not what it has been pointed out to be. So that is exactly the reason why I've kept on coming up here to say, I don't know if there is a different way or there's a particular article that you've read that maybe has given you that impression. Can I see? Is that simple? All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Aku, and thank you everyone who has contributed. You see, the good thing for me about this platform is that we're here to learn. Hence, it's very important when somebody says something, weekends we just go online and first take it and come up and say, no, I said you're wrong in this. And if I'm wrong, so many of you can bear witness to this. I would always say, okay, I apologize. Apology is something that I find it very easy to say. Please, I apologize. There's nothing wrong in saying that. We are not perfect. We can never be perfect, right? And we don't know it all, right? And so we're here to learn. We're here to interact with one another. Some things might not sit well with us. Sometimes in the heat of this conversation, we probably will say something, then looking back, we say, okay, that's not exactly what it should have been, right? That might be I'm not here to defend anybody, right? But that might be the situation here. But I do understand where you're coming from. And I understand the fact that if this is not corrected, it might, or it will lead to something else, and people will fly with it. And the moment you leave this platform, it will now, somebody will be misquoted and say, this is what this person is saying. this is what the other person said. But I must commend everyone who has contributed to this conversation this morning. Those agreed on, those disagreed. We want a better Nigeria. If it means that Omar will be the president and we have a better Nigeria, guys, it's up to you guys. If you want to make Ola to be the president of Nigeria, I mean, I'm on it. In it. It's actually your guy to be the president. Everybody should put hands together and work with him. If Gaboni is that person that you think will make Nigeria a better country, please carry his campaign in your head. That's the thing. We want a Nigeria where the son of somebody or the child of somebody becomes the child of nobody becomes somebody, not knowing anybody. I'm quoting some person, I was going to attribute it to somebody, but I've been told that that particular quote did not come from that individual. So that is, that's a quote. That is why we are here. Okay? Omar, you raise your hand, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mindset. And contrary to what people might think, there's no desire to target any kind of ethnic group. As I said, my point remains: you're giving ammunition to people who are not interested in actually fixing the problem. They're more than happy to derail the conversation and turn it into complete ethnic dog whistling. Now, if there are sensitivities from a certain region and it's been masked by, the genocide of Christians and all of this, and they're using that to push an agenda, it automatically takes attention away from the real victims. Someone came here to actually ascertain that. I don't even know why that person is not being, but someone who has actually done real work from the Middle Belt, I believe, that is at the center of this discussion, has actually confirmed that there are times when the advocacy of certain groups and their infusion into the conversation automatically derails the subject. And that is the point. The point still stands. The point stands that Intersociety made advocacy concerning Christian genocide in Nigeria, which might have come from a place of genuine intent. There's also confirmed, like there's a video on the internet. I retweeted it on my page. I don't like retweeting stuff like that, of people of a certain region celebrating the fact that Nigeria has been designated a country of particular concern. If that is not enough ammunition for a political party that is actually not ready to fix the problem and would rather focus on irrelevancies, then I don't know what you see it as. And if you keep coming back at me and what you want is a particular link that does this and that, if you cannot link it together, that's not me. But as I said, I respect everyone's opinion. But my point, I'm more than happy to stand by it. And it's not a matter of being presented with a superior argument and not being willing to back down. It's just the fact that it's the way that I see things, and I'm willing to stand by the way that I see them. And I believe that if we genuinely want to fix this country, if we genuinely want to stop the spate of violence in this country, it is important for us not to take the attention away from the genuine victims and use it to fuel our own political agenda. It is wrong and it is morally, disingenuous in my opinion. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Omar, for your submission. Now, you made reference to an individual who has worked and continue to work about this whole Christian genocide. You're talking about Mr. Abdullahi Baiki. But there's something else you're missing here, sir. Now, in the course of his submission, he said that when this group started trying to hijack, I'm paraphrasing, please, I'm not putting him, trying to hijack what himself and others are doing, what they did, they stopped it. And they made sure that the State Department in America did not listen to those guys. So that agenda died a natural death between 2020 and 2021, right? So, so if we're going to make reference to that, we're just going to look at it from that. And if what he's saying is that this thing happened last week or last year, then we probably might have a point here. I do understand where you're coming from. The government in power or the lobbyists will always look for an opportunity. But looking for an opportunity that is not here, or that would, to any sensible Nigeria, please, nobody would misquote me. I'm saying somebody's not, but any sensible Nigeria will look at it and say, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Whichever way one wants to look at it. On one hand, you're saying Nigerian government is incapable of, providing intel, which obviously they claim they did. And you're making, not you, sir. Then you're saying that they're saying that, okay, it was somebody who selling papers that gave intel for America to do this, whereby there are a lot of us who have worked so hard and continue to do so. And that person, in my own opinion, there is no Nigerian dead or alive that have done more work than the Bishop of Makurdi. No other person, in my own opinion, you can disagree with me. No other person that has done more work than this, the Bishop from Benue State. No, nobody else. So be it interstate or no other person has done more work. Right? This guy has done, since 2020, he has provided evidence to every, not only United States. He's been to House of Lords in the United Kingdom. He's been to Canada. He's been to Rome. He's been to, everywhere, right? That is Bishop Wilfred Anebe, a man from Benue State. He's not from the Southeast. So if there's anybody who would jubilate, people in the Middle Belt jubilated. They were happy that this thing has happened. It's not, somebody put out a video of people wearing red hats, with an individual who happens to be a white man. I think that's Mr. Arnold, right? Does not mean that the people from the Middle Belt did not jubilate or celebrate that, wow, something has happened. At least somebody have had our cry. Okay? Now, another pastor in Plateau State, and I've made it he's been putting out videos out there, saying this is where people were killed. We are happy to open the graves and everything. I'm not taking that away from that person, but I'm saying that to the international community, somebody have visited Capitol Hill, being part of the hearings and everything, even the first hearing about before Nigeria was designated as CPC, Bishop Anebe was here. So let's not take this thing away from the people who have done a great job to talk about the killings of their people in the Middle Belt. If the New York Times really wanted to do an honest journalism, they should make reference to the silent slaughter and other articles that is out there for the public. And then we can have that conversation. But you can see that they're trying to do ethnic basing here. But I do understand where you're coming from. Thank you very much. Akro, please, you raise your hand, sir. Go ahead.
Sorry again, message. You see, Omar keeps making reference to the video of, I don't know what he means by people wearing red cap, as what he thinks is the linkage between the Intersociety and Simon Ekpa and all of that. And I'm then wondering, the only way that could stand is if you tell me that those were Intersociety staff, or you can see the Intersociety chairman that's dancing and all of that. Then we then have something to talk about. But if it's not, with all due respect, that's rubbish. It's absolute nonsense. Thank you.
Okay, that's your own opinion, and I think I like the fact that people have different opinions. I think for me, we have overflowed this particular topic. If there's any other topic we would like to address, I think we should move on to that particular topic. And not Omar, myself, Ola, and everything. We've addressed it. Omar has his own opinion. You have put out your own opinion with facts and say, I cannot find anything like this. And this is something I love about this platform. People are very, very quick to debunk whatever they believe is not right. And I must commend you guys. You guys are awesome. Ola, you have the mic.
Hi, Mindset. I don't know if you or anybody else could help on this. Remember that was it on Sunday, they said there was a church, that a few churches in Kaduna State were attacked, and a number of people were kidnapped. But as of this morning, there are reports coming out from the state saying that report was false by a local government officials and the Kaduna State Police Commissioner, Alhaji Muhammad Ribau. So I don't know if there are people on ground or people who will clarify what is the real state of this. Were people kidnapped, or people just trying to cause mischief? So that was just my question.
Thank you very much, Ola. I saw that report on Monday. right? That was when I saw it. So I did ask some persons questions, and with respect to Sahara Reporters, I think the first news came from Sahara Reporters, and I'm just one person who want to wait a little bit, right, before I can. So okay, this is what it is. But then again, I think I saw it from Vanguard again. So I spoke with somebody from from the police saying that nothing like that has happened. So as it stands right now, I do not know which one it is until the individual, at least I can raise my hand and say, okay, I spoke with somebody who is from this community, he has gotten back, and this is what the situation is. So I don't know whether people were actually kidnapped or not, because there are two conflict stories out there. I'm not sure if that helps.
Yeah, that helps because I'm in the same position as you, because there are two conflicting stories and we don't know which, if it's true, what is being done to try and rescue those people, and if it's not true, to find out who are the people putting on such things, especially knowing the state of play currently and what is their aim in trying to put out such inflammatory stories.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hence, I keep saying one of the things I wasn't comfortable with is the fact that people were being paid, for putting us things on Twitter, but the number of persons felt that it's a good way for people making money. I do not have a problem with that, but we have to be very, very careful, and hopefully, maybe in the next coming days or in the next hour, we probably will get more clarity on what transpired in Kaduna State. Please, before somebody would leave the platform and say, okay, I was on the platform, they're saying nobody were kidnapped. What I am saying, I'll ask the question, and my position is this. There are two complete reports out there. Vanguard and Sahara Reporters said that people were kidnapped, right? Over 100 persons were kidnapped. Now, the Nigerian police in Kaduna State is saying there is absolutely nothing like this. In my only two research I've always tried to do, I like to get things clarity before I speak on them. I reach out to somebody from Kaduna State, they haven't gotten back to me, until they got back to me and say, we managed to get somebody from this community and this is what happened. I do not know whether people were kidnapped. That's the position on this platform this morning. I hope that we are all clear with it. Let nobody go out there and start another agenda with what we were discussing this morning. Thank you very much, Bala. Do we have any other person who would like to add anything? Please, you can raise your hand and we'll pass the mic to you. If not, then I will take that time to read out what is actually going on in the comment section. A lot of comments. All right, thank you very much. Also, inside my side, news agencies, routers, AP and AFL pick up the story. However, the government is saying otherwise. Yes, I saw the one from AP, but if you read it through the AP, it would appear they are connecting it with what they got from the Nigerian media. Please permit me, sir. I know that I'm saying Sahara Reporters are not a good media team, but I just want to be very, very careful. But thank you very, very much, Gossi, for your response out there. Purify said, please, I'm reading out the comments, so if there's anybody who would like to comment, do let me know, then I'll pass the mic to you. But let me quickly read out what's going on in the comment section, so let them know if it appear that we're not carrying them along. So Purify, so what is wrong with celebrating that America came to our aid? Maybe we should be celebrating Hensman kills our people, kills and I think I understand why when Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya, the people not celebrated when they sentenced him to prison. Some people not celebrated. That is from Purified. And Bishop Bissing, gosh, I'm butchering this name. Sorry, sir. Bissing Dave. Permit me, sir, if I might call you Dave. Okay, say, what is every wrong thing in this country blamed on the Southeast? I don't understand this. The president used a whopping sum of $9 million to lobby a company to tell people no Christian genocide, and no one is blaming the president and the government as a whole, but the blame goes to the Southeast. Akani said, ultimately, no link exists, and I promise we'll move sorry, apologize. It's, Mr. Akani said, ultimately, no link is, and I propose we move on and disregard Omar. Then Chuck say, I will celebrate if Nigeria is designated as CPT. Solve the problem that caused the designation. Okay, there's quite a number of the people say this guy is the one pushing a false narrative because he hasn't provided proof backing his claim. He is the one with the agenda. I will go back and see if there's anybody raising their hands as I will continue to read out the comment on the comment section. Okay, the individual continues. How can you make a claim and not provide evidence? Then you say you can't provide evidence because it's sensitive. That is propaganda, simple. And the son of man said, welcome back, bro. I think he's making reference to Omar. So he said, welcome back. And he tagged your handle there. And Akani said, since Moiset's direct message is not open, I wish to appreciate your wisdom and consistent impartiality on matters concerning Nigeria, extending beyond today's topic. Notwithstanding instances where your stand diverges from mine. Thank you very much. Well, as always, maybe tomorrow my position will move, and then you probably will say different thing on the comment section and say, okay, you've been paid. But thank you for a wonderful submission and a good okay. And already said there are all instances. These are all instances. New York Times have been called out by Donald Trump, and it's thankful that they haven't changed. All right, so I'm waiting for anyone to raise their hand. If not, I will continue to read out what's on the comment section and just to keep the platform going. Okay, Ola said things fall apart when the center doesn't hold. And Mazi Ezluke has actually put out an article from Intersociety, and somebody saying engage. We don't know what we're engaging with, right? And Omar, so somebody said Omar has left the WhatsApp group. Okay, Errol said he doesn't have any article. That's tribal. So Mazi has put out a lot of articles here from, yes, that's the video I was making reference to. Please, if you can't, guys, if you have time, it's very important. If you can, please, there's a video here that Mazi managed has helped us to put on the comment section here. That's about the hearing that happened on the 14th of January. That was on Wednesday, a few days ago. Please, Mazi has put it, you can listen to what the congressman and Mr. Jusol and Samuel Oto and Stephen, what they said, please, it's very important you do so if you can. And what else? Okay, sure, just a mindset, please listen to this interview. There's a lot of things going on in the comment section. Okay, so Joe said I should ask a question. So mindset, can you please help ask Omar who is the person that lost the last election and is using this to score a political point? Can he be specific? Omar, you're using a lot of grammar to tell what you really represent. Now I remember you from violence days, early days. Omar, I'm not sure if you want to respond to that. If you want to, sir. If not, I will continue to read out what's going on in the comment section, sir.
Please, what am I supposed to respond to?
I don't know. Somebody thought I should ask you a question, and it would not be fair not to ask you. Okay, I can read that again if you want to. You have to.
Please do.
Okay. Joe said, Master, can you please help us, Omar? Who is the person that lost the last election and is using this to score a political point? Can he be specific? Then he goes on and say he knew you from violence space. So the question here.
Oh, okay. Brian said, you know what? You have your space, and I don't want to derail the conversation because obviously I know what this is driving at, and I know what exactly they're trying to bait me into saying. But the truth is, I think people need to have a clear understanding of something. It's okay for you to have an opinion. The evolution of man is the ability to see things differently at different stages in life. At some point, I believed in a certain candidate, and I worked actively for that candidate. Pro bono, without being paid. A large number of us were not paid. So it's not even like there's any kind of incentive coming from it. And if I wake up tomorrow and I feel like, okay, this guy does not represent my viewpoint anymore, and I believe the direction this person is moving is not something that aligns with my views, I don't really see why that means you're falling off or all of a sudden you're not standing for what's right. Like, what makes you think your perception or your alignment with a certain candidate is what is right for the country? At that point, it might have been right, But at this point, I don't think it's right anymore, and I don't think I support whatever that person stands for. I'm not going to come out here and start mentioning names because I have maximum respect for the person that I supported at the time. I just don't agree with them at this point, and that's totally fair. And I think people need to just move on from this idea of the moment you're not leaning towards a particular mob and speaking the language they want you to speak, that means you're falling off. Some of us don't live on the internet. We have real lives and actual things that we do with our time. So please, I don't know what they want me to say, but I stand by what I said. Yeah, that's just what it is. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, I mean, you responded to the best of your ability, but he wanted to know the name of the candidate, but you have every right not to mention the name of the candidate, and you have every right to change your mind, right? Um, if you think that the candidate you supported before, you're not comfortable with them, it is your choice. You know, it's both. You have freedom of association and freedom of speech, right? Okay. Do we a lot of things in the comment section. So I don't want to bore anybody with reading out things. If there's any other person, if anybody want to respond to what Omar said, please those on the speaker section, you can raise your hand and I will pass the mic to you. If not, I would continue reading out what is going on in the comment section. Please let's do that. Okay. All right. So Tony said, much as possible, people will try to be civil in discussion, but this mocking chuckle from this is quite loathsome. Yeah, and it's very important. Thank you very much. You know, sometimes we get carried away. I've said it before, and I think we're going to try this year to do so. I'm not against people having freedom of speech, but when discussions are very, very serious as this, and we are using this laughing again, which I do not think is right. I think we can raise our hand and dispute or disagree with the individual and tell the reason we disagree. Because sometimes you feel the bill disrespectful, right? And I'm happy that Mr. Tony pointed that out. Those on the comments on the listening section, please, you can disagree with some, but these conversations are not. We're not here to waste our time. In as much as quite a number of persons will think we don't have the work that we do, right? We all have things that we do, but we just feel that we are here to educate ourselves. Moving forward this year, let's try and do so. Thank you very much, Mr. Tony. What else we have? Okay. Okay, so DT. That's Omar. What happened to collective responsibility? Remember the famous book by Martin Neumann. Okay. So Francis say, if you have lived in the north, you will know that when these killings happen, the killers don't ask if you are from the south, east, west, or north center. So far you are not a Muslim. You are a target. That is from Mr. Francis. Then Maz put out another article. There's a lot of articles for those who like to read. And Mr. Bright put out another article as well. And love this, he says, so Omar is saying that people from the other regions should not comment on the Christian genocide because it's not happening in their region. In other words, other regions should wait until it happens to them before they begin to complain. What STPI take? He said, what STP take? Okay, guys. If we do not have any other person who would like to contribute, I think we should round up quickly. Ola, do you have anything else to add? And or Omar, please, if there's anything, so we can round up quickly.
Nothing from me, but just want to say thank you to everybody, all your views, and like you said, the day we stop learning is the day we start dying. So we all learn from each other, one way or the other. The whole thing for me is just to learn and see where other people are coming from. Some people will say a 6, some people will say a 9, but I hope at the end of the day, let's just remember that every single life matters. Every single life matters. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm out. Yourself as well.
Oh, thank you very much, Mindset. To be honest, I think I've pretty much said most of what I wanted to say, but I think my point just remains. There are victims. There are real victims of heinous crimes in Nigeria. I think it is important for us not to politicize the suffering of those people in order not to switch the conversation away from it. That's just all I have to say. And to all of the people in the comment section, I wish you all the best.
All right, thank you. Aku, you have the mic, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, Mindset. I really want to, just appreciate you for the consistency. You've been doing this, consistently for a very, very long time, and it takes a lot of strength to do that, even with all the insults and disagreements and all of that. Thank you so much. And I also want to say that it's everybody's responsibility to speak against injustice, irrespective of where it has happened or where it's happened. Please do join your voice, speak against it, and hopefully we get a peaceful country, collectively as well. It's also important that we learn to, take people for what they are and not what you think they are. It's okay for somebody to speak against insecurity, and then it's not okay for the other person to speak against, because it will become a political agenda. It will mean that that person speaking against it has an ulterior motive. That's not cool. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Aku, Allah and Omar, for your time of being on this platform to educate us. We learn a lot, and we have disagreed, and we agree with you guys. As always, I will do my possible best to make sure we have conversations that would enrich us, and as a people, and we would continue to see what we can do to make Nigeria a better place. As always, whatever anybody decides to do on their platform is not attached to mindset. So when people look at somebody who has been on this platform putting out tweets and everything, that is their platform. They can do whatever they want to do with it. It's not attached to me. I'm not affiliated to them. My job here is on this platform. I will control what happens on this platform. But what people do out there, it is their own responsibility. Please, I just want to make that very clear. As always, some persons you see today on the platform, you probably will not see them tomorrow, because they will feel that the platform is not leading towards what they believe or what they think the platform should do for them. That is the reality of life. We started doing this since 2021, right? It's been to 5 years now. And some individuals who started this thing, who were here with me, some of them, we don't see them here. So there's a possibility some individuals that you see today, you probably will not see them tomorrow. Others will join. And when somebody feels that, okay, the platform is not really what me being part of it, that's part of life. And we wish everybody well, and people should continue to thrive and do whatever they want to do. So, please do not put me together with whatever anybody's putting out there. I am myself. I'm doing my thing by myself. I'm not associated with anybody on X. So whatever you're dealing with anybody, you're doing it on your own accord. If you want to deal with me, if you want to interact with me, my email address is up there. You can send me a message and everything. Do not subscribe me with whatever anybody is doing out there. And today the conversation linked towards, is quite an open conversation, and some person can happy. Tomorrow you might not be happy with my position, right? So you probably will get ready to call me names and what have you. But that's part of life. So we've been doing it for the five years, and we're not going to stop today. But I want to thank everybody who have joined, and I wish you guys well. Hopefully